Here's something no one tells you. Masking often gets harder after your autism diagnosis.
Say what? I thought diagnosis should make life easier.
Yep, that's right. Masking becomes harder, much harder. The thing you've been doing your whole life to survive. So much that it felt like you.
Even to you.
Suddenly, it feels unbearable and unsustainable. So why does that happen? And more importantly, how do you deal with it without burning yourself out or saying, that's exactly what we're breaking down today. And just so you know, we've got a free masking reflection guide to help you figure out where you're still using the most energy to mask. I'll tell you more about that later. But first, let's get into why this happens, and then we'll get into ideas for how to heal. Why masking feels heavier after diagnosis. Ever caught yourself thinking, wasn't this supposed to get easier? You're not imagining things. It's not immediately easier just because you know you're autistic. I have other videos on that I'll link below. But why does masking actually feel harder after diagnosis? Why does masking now feel like wading through molasses with an 8-ton tornado on your head?
Because it really does. And I still have to go to work every day.
Here are 4 reasons why. Now you're aware. Before diagnosis, a lot of masking probably ran on autopilot. You copied facial expressions, rehearsed replies, softened your voice, without giving yourself a step-by-step process in your head. Why? Well, if you're anything like me, you had that unlocked since childhood. You already learned how to mimic others, how to pretend you got the social nuances, when really, it was a series of steps in your head. Okay, look away for 3 seconds. They're laughing. Okay, you laugh. Wait, was there a question? Play it off. Laugh again. Good. Okay, it's almost your turn to talk. Easy, Ghost Rider. Okay, they're winding down. 3, 2, 1. Go get 'em, Slammer. And it's not just social challenges. We'll talk more about that later. But now, after diagnosis, you notice everything you're doing to fly under the radar. And noticing that, well, it costs energy and makes your heart hurt a little. Like you're Harry Potter, and now you can talk to snakes. Is that a power you'd want?
I mean, I might kind of like that, but I don't think it would be very popular with the ladies.
Think of it like realizing you hear a whole hidden language that's on a frequency no one else notices. Once you hear it, you can't unhear it. And research consistently shows autistic camouflaging, adapting to fit into neurotypical norms, it requires a lot of effort. It's also linked to anxiety and lower well-being. And they're also finding that conscious efforts of masking and camouflaging feels heavier over time. Studies show the more you camouflage, the worse your mental health tends to be. I have videos on my own health struggles before my autism diagnosis. Many of them were linked to the weight of masking. And that's one reason why it will make your head want to pop off the next time someone says,
"But you seem fine."
Or,
"Doesn't everyone do that?"
Oh no. Common autism misconceptions, people, especially for level 1 autistic or AuDHD individuals. But that's why we're here. To learn and to understand that just because you don't see our struggles doesn't mean they don't exist. Relief creates contrast. Diagnosis starts the process of relearning and self-understanding. Suddenly, you get a taste of being yourself. You start being patient with yourself and not forcing yourself to suppress your stims or to go do something when your social battery is in the negative numbers. But then Monday morning rolls around and you're in a meeting pretending you like answering "How was your weekend?" questions, or even worse, pretending you love a quick icebreaker. Now you know you're autistic and you start understanding just how much acting you've been doing all of this time. And it's a lot, like all the time, possibly even when you were alone. So as you're unmasking, the gap between who you really are and who you are as a performer suddenly feels huge. And that makes the mask even heavier. In settings where you feel like you have to mask, you might start to resist, especially if you have the PDA profile where demands feel impossible.
Which I might have now only started to learn. Oh man, there's so much to learn. Makes my butt tingle.
As you start learning to unmask and also where you still feel the need to mask, it's bittersweet. It's awesome that you know, so you have that sense of relief, but not so awesome when you feel forced to put the mask on. But it does get better, which we'll talk about later. The emotional bill shows up. And around this time, you'll probably realize masking hasn't just been tiring, it's cost you years of energy, delayed diagnosis, and misunderstandings. Lost relationships because you didn't know or understand you couldn't get the support you needed, because you didn't know what you needed. Or lost friendships because the mask slipped, and some people fled. Decades of hiding your discomfort at sensory input, hiding your stims, hiding your social challenges. It's little wonder that one of the first emotions many autistic adults have after learning they're autistic is anger, grief, frustration. Loss over the years we can't get back. And those feelings don't just go away. I mean, for a lot of us, it's decades lost. And if you've been on my channel, you know that this isn't the focus of most of our videos. But it's important to understand for everyone. These feelings are real and common. So when you start unmasking, those raw emotions stack right on top of the effort to relearn yourself. It's not just in your head. It's your own way of processing grief and loss. But in the process, you'll rediscover yourself too. Permission to stop masking clashes with real-world risk. After you're diagnosed, you might get this feeling like, woohoo! Now I can just be myself. At least that's what I thought. But the reality is that it's not that simple. You want to unmask, and your body wants that too, but jobs, family, expectations, and safety still matter. There's an internal tug of war, this internal struggle to be real versus be safe. Because the reality is that most people don't understand autism very well at all. That's a huge reason why we started this channel and our online membership and courses. I definitely had a lot of internalized ableism judgment on myself, even after diagnosis. I'd get so frustrated with myself.
Why can't I just push through? Oh, why is this so hard now?
And then I realized it's because I hadn't taken time to listen to myself all that time. That's still a process and a journey. It's taken years for me to understand more of what I need and why I do what I do. And that process wouldn't have been possible without connecting with others and having support, especially from my wife, Debbie, and a lot of my colleagues. But I also know I'm lucky in many ways. Not everyone has that kind of support. Studies show many autistic adults camouflage to meet expectations and avoid judgment. It's not about being popular or something like that. It's about keeping your job, feeling safe in public, and maintaining relationships in a stable household. Contrary to early incorrect assumptions of autism, a lot of autistic people do care about others and do want to have connections with others. We just go about it in a different way. That's why it's really important to be able to connect with other autistic adults in person or in online communities like our Auticate membership. And it's important to learn more about yourself and about your brain. Most of us had no idea, but when we're together, we can support one another because we've been there and we know. And we aren't here to judge because we've been there and we know. If masking got heavier after diagnosis, it's not failure, it's feedback. You're more aware, you've tasted relief, and your body wants honesty. Use the masking reflection guide to find one place to unmask 5% this week. And if you want deeper structure, the discovery course is there for you. Tell me in the comments, which setting are you choosing for your 5% this week? Debbie and I are both cheering for you. You got this.
Mine. Don't you